Try it again. Well, let me see. Okay, everything is good there. Yeah, I'm that crazy uncle everybody warned you about. Don't sit on that crazy uncle's lap. Let me get this up here so we can see everything. Oh, finally, guess what happened, Moto? I come over here, and just as I get it started up, the internet went off. I mean, it went off. It just, that was it. I had to unplug it, reboot it, and come back, and it picked up where it left off. It's never happened before that good for me. Hey, Dave. Ben Tipton. Big fist bump to you, buddy. Oh, my, every day I get up on the floor, I get up and I put my feet on the floor. The blessing begins at that very moment. My goal is I have made a promise. If I'm allowed to spend some time with these earthly people, these humans, I will find some way of making them happy. Life has got a lot of miseries in it, and I ain't going to be one of them. My goal is be happy, and it's worked for me. Oh, yes. Yeah. Great, great ride. Oh, I understand, Ben. I had to see somebody that I really like. I like a lot of people, but he's having some issues. I can't remember what his name is. He's one of my subscribers. He he stated he is having nerve. He's got nerve damage in his legs, and he's got a Suzuki Boulevard. I almost had it in the tip of my tongue. His name, and he can't ride it. And can you think the horror of knowing you got a good running motorcycle out there in the garage or the carport? Hey, you say, welcome, buddy, and not be able to ride it. That would have to drive you nuts. See, when I come home from the hospital after I broke my leg, I was really depressed. In fact, I hadn't reached that level of depression in a long time because I'm thinking, well, I'm 82 years of age and my leg is broken. That pretty well ruins my riding days. And come here, little sweetheart. What what did I do 1 week after? What did I do 1 week after I come home from surgery?
You got on your bike and you rode.
Who did the videotaping of me riding my bike 1 week after surgery?
Me.
You didn't. Who did not want me to get on the bike?
Still me.
Who rolled me out in a wheelchair?
Still me. Even though that was a nightmare.
She rolled she rolled old Old Mack, heavy Old Mack.
Fat Daddy Mac.
Fat Daddy Mac
Fat
out
Mac.
there and helped him had to help him to get his ass onto the motorcycle.
Oh, don't forget, a week after that, you had to take Mom to the doctor.
Oh, no, it was in the same week, Eddie.
No, that was the following week. Because remember, I was sick with bronchitis.
Well, I had to
You had to take me to the
load
doctor.
her in the Mustang and take her to the
And
hospital.
you had to take me to the doctor.
And then I had.
It was not a good week for her.
But see, when she got sick, I just drug her by her ankles down the step. Her little head just go.
No, my nails were like, no.
Her head was going, coming down the steps there. Made her eyes blink every time her head had hit the back of the step. Back of her head hit the step, right?
And it still hurts to this day.
I know. Who caught me when I fell off the ladder last year?
Me. Because you fell on top of me.
Yeah, I know when you looked up and you saw that horrible big blob of meat coming down.
No, the beluga whale's coming. Ah.
See, she's been through the worst. I mean, tell it, she you've had a hard
38 years. Yeah, it's been difficult. But what's that saying you always tell me? What doesn't kill you make you stronger?
yeah, you ought to be like
A Wonder Woman?
yeah, Wonder Woman.
I'll take it.
All right, thanks, honey.
All right, I gotta get your medicine.
Yeah. Oh, she got to get my vitamins for me. Anyhow, oh, yeah, I remember I told you my dream was to go to Australia. So my first wife was an anti-traveling person.
How sad.
She was born in Alabama, and she said, "I don't believe nobody should ever leave Alabama." This is well, I drug her. I married her in her home in Alabama and drug her to California, and she couldn't take it. She eventually got on the Greyhound bus and went home, and that was the last we seen of her. Second wife was totally anti-travel. Born and raised in California, she was anti-everything. So going to Australia would have been a no-no. The third wife was an American Indian, born in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. She was a wonderful woman, but she had no interest in going to Australia with me. Old Mac was wanting to go to Australia. Fourth wife wanted to go to Australia. I said, "Oh my God, I finally got me a woman that wants to go to Australia." But we only was together for 8 years, and I was at that time being deployed out doing a national defense work, and I was gone a year at a time, and so there never was a time I could fly to Australia. We did go to Hawaii, but then she up and died. That's wife number four. Let me tell you a little. I put a little addendum to that. After we divorced, she married another engineer, and he took her to Australia. Well, no, I think she took he took her to Australia,
Oh, goodness.
and then she died. After she got back, she was died. Wife number five, beautiful woman, Texas woman, wanted to go to Australia. That was her dream to go out back. She wanted to meet the indigenous people, and she was a painter. She graduated. She went to the University of Texas.
You.
Was it Texas University?
Texas Christian University.
Texas Christian University. She graduated from there, but she was an art major, and she painted all kinds of really great scenes. And so I'm hoping my signal's still working. Look, is it still working, honey? I don't know.
It'll give you the notice.
God damn, I don't even know if I'm on the air. I don't have the other computer turned on.
You're fine.
Anyhow, she wanted to go and paint some of the indigenous people of Australia, and she wanted to go to Ayers Rock and a whole bunch of things like that.
You have one
But
person for left.
unfortunately, Old Mac had an accident, and Old Mac he broke his leg, and then 10 years later, when we were together, I broke my leg when I was with wife number four. But 10 years later, a cancer started growing in my right leg in the femur. I had this huge mass, 2.25 inch tumor inside of the femur. And so they was going to cut my leg off 6 inches above that, up here, really high up on my hip. And so we arranged to come to have the surgery done in the University of Alabama, where they was the primo. This young Jewish doctor, Dr. Jaffe, he was a noted bone surgeon, oncologist. Hey, American Uncensored and 2-4 and Ben Tipton, I spoke to you there. Chasing Ghosts, hello. Sick Bastard, yeah, hey, I knew you was there, Dave. So I think I'm caught up over here. So Dr. Jaffe and his team was going to do the work on my leg. They're going to have to take bones out of my hip, rebuild me a leg. Oh, it's going to be a year-long process.
And then physical therapy.
Never got to go to Australia. Then my wife died, as you know. And her dream never came true, and now it's a it's one of those things you like to think about. Just like a chicken swallowing.
I have one Farsica left.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that thing in the bottle makes me feel like
Okay,
there's more.
I want you to find the telephone number for Walgreens in Summerton,
Mhm.
and you call them and ask them about renewing my prescription. Am I going to have to go to the doctor to get a renewed
Okay,
prescription?
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. Uh, I guess I could turn my phone on to see if my signal is actually working. Because on the screen it appears look like I'm in living color, but we know how that works. Somebody out there might let me know if I'm still transmitting or if I'm gone already. I died a while ago. I had to reset the modem over here, the router. Oh, good. I'm glad. Oh, okay. Okay, good. I was going to check here. I just don't want to be sitting here just yapping along and no, and nobody hearing me. Um, anyhow, um, we that was on our bucket list. But see, as a ham radio operator, I used to have this two gentlemen. They was from over there where the Opera House is at, um, Sydney and the Sydney Harbor. And they worked at a TV broadcast. They were engineers at a TV station in Sydney. And every year when they took their vacation, hey, Looney Shrooms, buddy. Good morning. Thank you very much for taking the time to come over for at least a short visit with us. Uh, they every year they would come over and they'd land in Los Angeles and they would buy four automobiles. They would drive two of them and they would tow two of them, and they came all the way up the Pacific coast, all the way to Canada. See, Washington, where we live, was just 150 miles from the Canadian border. And they would take these cars up, and they would sell the four cars in Canada because since they're related to Canada through the UK connection, you know how all that works. They was allowed to sell cars in Canada. Americans can't do that. You'd have to have some kind of a special permit or something. But they would sell cars in Canada and pay for the whole entire 6-week vacation they would take. And of course, they come and visit all of the ham operators they knew that on the way. And mine was a popular channel back in the day. Everybody would tune into my network, and so we arranged through a friend of mine to put them up down in Tacoma, Washington. They had a big dance floor and everything. Oh my God, them bosses came and they brought their video shows. They had slide shows and stuff, and they were professionals. And both of them was pilots, and they flew in the outback, and they had all kinds of presentations about Ayers Rock and all that stuff. And um, it was it was really great having them guys come over. So it was a we try to make them feel at home, and they loved our Southern way of life. The Aussies did, and they was always really entertaining when they came over. They knew they was much loved once they got here. With my group, I can assure you that they was respected and was treated like they was at home. We couldn't give them the 12% beer or whatever the strong Australian beer. All we had was the highest we had was 6%. but we could always drink two of them and get the same effect, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. A lot of fun with the guys. Yeah, from Sydney. They're TV. They worked at a TV station, and they was well educated, and they had really a gift for the gab because they were ham operators, and they also traveled all around the world. They went to other places and bought cars and did the same thing. But the best deals they found was in American used cars in America. Boy, we had so many of them that you could stop anywhere and buy so many cars and just ready to roll on. But never got to over the thoughts of going to Australia. But no, it would be because of all the getting on the airplane and all that walking is not a good thing for me. The feet, I just don't have any feeling in the feet, and my toes don't know where they are at. Toga, I'm so happy you came over, buddy. Did you see? I don't know, in that little video that Motorbomb was showing there. I don't think he stayed that long. He moved out, but anyhow, around there was one place. There was a flag that has a crescent moon and a star in it. Is that a Turkish flag, or I could pull it up and see, but or is it Syria, or it's somewhere from over there? But it's a flag. It's got a crescent moon in it and a star. Um, Hanging in the shop over there. American Uncensored, I'm glad you're here with us too. Sometime I get to rambling along talking and I forget to look over there and to announce who is here and who's leaving and that kind of stuff. Yesterday was probably the perfect day for riding. We left out, it was 43 degrees, but blue sky. It said when we left out it was 43 and felt like 50. Well, that's a 7-degree rise. And every time you'd hit a sunny spot, you could feel the warmth from the sun. And time we got to the shop, it was time to start taking jackets off. It already got up to 54 degrees, I believe it was. And time we left the shop, it was 64 degrees. And before we got home, it was 70. So nice ride, just perfect riding. Yeah, that was it. Red background. That's he had a Turkish flag. I got to ask him the story about the Turkish flag. He may have been stationed there. These guys are all American patriot. They've all served the country and they've been everywhere. And I'm so yeah. I can look it up. In fact, I'm sure it's that's what we were seeing. Um, Let me use the old show me the Turkish flag.
Oh,
Look at honey, look at the flag. That's the one that was hanging on the wall.
yeah.
Remember? Look here, this is what was hanging on the wall over there. And I pointed it out in the video. In my video, you can see me. I stick my finger up there and say, I'm doing this for you, Toga, because I just knew that was your country.
Yeah, I've seen that flag before.
Yep.
Okay, I just got off the phone with Walgreens.
Huh?
I just got off the phone. It's pretty. For a 30-day supply is over $300.
No, honey. No, no.
That's
I
what
mean, do I have a renewed prescription? I can
she says that she can get one in
for a 30-day is
over
$300.
$300.
Hell no.
And then for the 90-day supply for 3 months. It's almost $500.
My medicine just went up to $300 for 30 days.
I told her
300 how much?
I told her I would call her back and I would like.
Oh, I got to call the doctor. That's not. Did you tell her I had insurance?
Yeah, she said it was what's the deductible.
What the hell am I paying for the insurance for if my medicine's $300 for 30 pills? Oh, we're having a family discussion here. Well, that is just bullshit. We just won't take it. We'll just switch medicines.
I told her I would call her back and let her know.
We'll call the hospital over there, the clinic, and see if I'll just switch back. I'll go back to metformin. Sure, when you take metformin, you're going to shit like a goose, but at my age, that ain't a bad thing. So, oh my God Almighty!
But I told her I'd call her back and let her know.
I've got not only do I have Medicare, but I have an additional insurance that I pay. I pay $300 a month to have insurance, and now she tells me my prescription went from 150 to 300,
$300.
over $300 for
But
30 days.
Tell her we won't take it.
No, I don't feel it at that.
No.
I ain't gonna pay no damn $300. I'll just take that metformin.
All right, I'll let her know. I'll let the pharmacist know. Okay.
I'd rather die than pay it. I'll fight them son of a bitches to the last. People that take advantage of seniors and destroy their medical systems and do that kind of stuff. I have no words to describe the amount of anger. Hell, I'd die before I buy that. I'd rather die than allow some low-life pharmaceutical company to make a fortune off my misery. It ain't going to happen to me. I don't give a rat's ass. Other people might go, well, I want to live and everything. Well, hell, I've already lived. I don't have nothing to prove anymore. I pay a lot of money. I don't know. Listen to this. My Medicare pays 80% of everything, and I've got the George Bush required every American senior to have George Bush Jr. to have Plan D. I have to pay for Plan D on my Medicare, and so then I have to select another insurance to substitute to help me to have insurance. So I end up paying over $300 a month off my Social Security just to be able to feed the fat daddies. I ain't gonna feed the fat daddies. Uh, yeah, you gotta just
It's done.
Huh?
It's done.
She called them back over and said, take me off the prescription plan because I ain't gonna pay that crap.
I told her we wouldn't take it.
Hell no, they can take that and shove it up there
She said she'd put it back
where
on
the sun
hold.
don't shine, huh?
She said she'd put it back on hold.
Sure, I ain't gonna. No, I won't feed the fat daddies.
I just wanted to let you know right away.
Thanks, honey.
Mm-hmm.
I take blood pressure medicine too, and it's been very expensive. I've always had to pay the top dollar on the blood pressure medicine, and we're going to probably start eliminating that too.
What?
Blood pressure.
Yeah, you said you didn't like that.
That is the Topro XL. Yeah.
But you don't like that.
Well, I've been taking it for so many years, I just take it for granted. That one is like $50-something a month. When I go over there to my clinic, every visit, when I go in there just to renew my prescriptions, just to go in, you have to do this every 90 days, you have to go renew the prescription. So I go in over there, I call them and make so I can get a get on the list of visitors. So I go over there. They already know what I'm there for is to get my prescriptions renewed. You have to go to the doctor. And when I walk in the door, the doctor gets $405 from the government. The doctors get $405 just for that visit to get my prescriptions. And now they're telling me now that the pharmacy over here wants $300+ for a 30-day supply or of Farxiga. Farxiga is a sugar diabetic medicine that is really good. It's good for your kidneys. I'd really recommend it to anybody, but hell, at these prices, I'll just go back to the old standby metformin. Yeah, blood pressure medicine. I'm taking Topro XL, which is it's called Metro Topro, and it regulates your heartbeat. It's a beta blocker, and then I take a lisinopril. Lisinopril, helps with the hypertension, the blood pressure. Those are the two pills that I take, and I take Farxiga. Those are the only three medical pills that I take. The rest I take vitamins. I'm in what they call stage 4 kidney failure. It doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but it means the end of days for Old Mac. Stage 4, there's not like 91 stages. No. When you reach 5, that's usually when everybody gathers around, and pretend they loved you. Oh, I liked Old Mac. He was a bit contrary, but look at him laying all up in there. Look how happy he looks laying all up in there. See, ain't none of them going to gather around and pity Old Mac or make phony statements how much they love me, because Old Mac is going to be fried like a Kentucky Fried Chicken up there in the oven. Angelique's going to take my dust and go up there and put them in an urn up there by Mom. My mother is in the cemetery. So I got mine all planned out. All I got to do is wait for the time to come. Hey, I ain't going without a fuss. I'll put up a little fuss before I go. Oh my God. Does prayer ever help? I ain't gone yet. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know how long a person will last. That Forxica was supposed to help me with my stage 4 kidney failure. So they know this. They know how important it is. See, a lot of people would go, "Oh, I better go maybe sell the Harley, get enough money to buy my medicine because I got to keep living." Um, I've already lived. They can't run that game by me. I ain't frightened. I don't scare easy. Um, yeah, there's people that hawks their farm and sells their tractor and everything just so they can live just a few more weeks or another year or whatever. That's the craziest thing I ever heard. I cannot believe it doubled just and well, I've had it filled in October. I'm just saying October, November, December, January. Oh, I filled it in November. I filled it at my sister's house in Kent, Washington. And so now I filled it in November and look at it now. It's doubled in price just since November. Yeah, that's a shame. And don't whine about me. I ain't gonna whine about me. But how about how about Uncle Buck that's only 54 years of age that has diabetes. How about Sick that has diabetes? That's an ending game. Diabetes can kill you, and those people have a lot of living to do. And for their insurance to be that high, for them to have to uh, put out that kind of money just to keep alive, they have to keep living because they've got their life to live. I've already lived my life. Well, there's a lot of placebo medicines out there that just makes you feel good. What I mean, it just makes you feel like you're protected just by taking it. But all the medicines, if you read the side effects, if you take any one of them, including lisinopril or you, it may help you with your diabetes, but it'll clog your arteries or it'll damage your nerves or it'll affect your kidneys. It'll kill your liver. I got to live long enough for this to happen there too, because I certainly am going to have you as my vice man. You're going to be in charge of all vice. I'm gonna put you in that. I'm gonna have you as my vice guard, my vice. What do they call them? Czar. But my vice is czar. Yeah. Well, hell, you didn't have to look very far, Connie. I've already told you 100 times I love you, 1,000 times. I know I don't count. Yeah, we've had a good life, and uh, we intend to continue living right up to the end. In fact, I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna have Angelique make a video when they fry Old Mac. Just go up there to the furnace and look in that little window. And they go, "Oh, he really fried good. Look at him. He's a sizzler." Just take a handful of ashes, throw them up in the air, and watch it drift off into the wind. Maybe have somebody ride the Harley and just open the urn and let it blow out into the wind at 80. Well, thank you, Connie, for coming and joining us this morning. We're on here usually 1 or 2 times a week. Yesterday, I couldn't be on yesterday because I was at the Harley shop. Had a really good ride. Two, four. They're going to have probably bring in a special team of fire experts, to manage the fire in the kiln there, where they do the shake and bake thing. Probably with extra large sprayers, in case and instantaneous combustion, where everything starts flaming up, catch the chimney on fire. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have Angelique take a little envelope and put just a pinch of my powder in each of the envelopes and send it out to all of my subscribers. And inside there's a little straw. And what you do is you just in the instructions, when you open up the envelope, it'll have instructions. Insert straw into powder and sniff. Because I want you to get high on life because my ashes is going to be filled full of high on life. There's going to be enough of residual left over that it's going to make your eyes open. Yeah, we got a lot of bright sunshine here. Oh, the temperature right now, here it is, 9:30, 9:40, 9:40 right now. And today's temperature will be higher than yesterday. Yesterday was when I went by the fire department in Summerton yesterday, it was 76 degrees in Summerton at 4 o'clock. Come that thing won't focus. It doesn't want focus. And camera, there it is right there. That must be the focal length right there. Oh, so we're 7 degrees colder over here. 2, 4. You gotta, you gotta, there gotta be a warning on the label. When you snort this, the happiness will be instantaneous and it is contagious. So once you snort it, you're gonna make other people happy. Oh, I'm gonna leave. Old Mac is gonna leave. They'll be singing "Kumbaya" and the whole world holding hands and Six said, "Hell, that ain't. You don't sniff nothing out of a bag like that. You lay it on the countertop, take a razor blade and form it into a line, and then you take a $20 bill and then you're good to go." Uh, Kumbaya. Boy, I could use another cup of coffee. Let me see if I can get her to come back in here. Oh, and bring me a cup of coffee.
Hey,
Yo, what it be?
not much. What up?
I need for you to get me another cup of coffee.
Okay,
Thanks, honey.
you're welcome. Wait,
She said, "Wait," just I hung up. Oh no. Uh, yeah, yeah. If we last a couple more hours, see here, it's only 20 minutes to 10, so we need to wait a little bit longer. I have woke up from a heavy, heavy night. You said wait just as I hung up, honey.
Never mind. I remembered.
Okay. Put put let me do this. I want you to put this in the dog plate over there. Dog dish. My dog loves spam, and I had a piece left, but it got cold on me. It got cold on me, and I don't want to eat cold
Nobody wants cold
spam.
spam. I don't want spam, period.
Anybody want to buy that good, delicious fried spam? Look at how beautiful quality. The quality of the meat is. It's beautiful. Oh, he'll get a treat out of this right here. Oh, thanks, honey. I got busy talking, let my spam get
Take
cold.
your plate.
Yeah, well, I want that one little bite right here. I got a bite of jelly left. I ain't gonna let it go to waste. I like my jelly cold. See right there, boys and girls, you younger folks that never had a jelly on a biscuit. You're about to watch Old Mac enjoy
I like strawberry on mine.
jelly on a biscuit. Here we go. You like what?
Strawberry on mine.
You got strawberry?
I wish. I'm gonna get that next time for me.
Grape jelly on a biscuit.
All right, jelly or jam.
Moto, if Moto here uh, would have shared our spam. $40 in Ankara. That's right. You're fixing to go into darkness. Yeah, it's going to drop down as the sun goes down. Um, Sugar's not good for you, but listen to this. Quality of life means a lot. In other words, uh, enjoying a biscuit with a little grape jelly. I'm not going to give up that. But what I've done, I don't drink a lot of drinks anymore. I used to drink a lot of whiskey and Coke. I did. I used to chug a lot of them, lots of whiskey and Coke. Well, that's a lot of sugar, you know. So I got rid of the whiskey and Coke and went to a beer. I still like a rum and Coke now. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't do it. So I sacrifice a few things so I can enjoy a jelly on a biscuit occasionally. Yeah, my mama, she could make some good homebrew. I've told you guys before, I took her all the makings and she put us up a batch of beer. She lived in a little place called Sunnyside, Washington, over in the sunny portion of the state. And my gosh, we uh, enjoyed that beer. Well, I went over after she called me and said it was ready, and we brought it home, and it was so good. I shared that with so many of my friends. Good Alabama made. It was made in Washington, but by an Alabama woman that knew how to make homebrew. Yeah, you got to put that R in there, Toga. You got to put that R in there, make it sound right. Yeah, you guys have had a 2-4. You guys have had a pretty serious cold spell up there. I mean, it washed down into New England and down through. I think down there where Ruby's at, he's they've had a lot of cold weather up there. Oh, Jim and John from Ohio, yeah, they've seen their share of cold weather this winter. But everybody's getting ready to go to Florida. They're all leaving out. You know, you saw Ray Gregory, he's all ready to go. They're going down for the bike week. They've already got a place to stay, um, and that's really good. I'm happy. I'm happy he's healthy enough to go out and do that because you know he had a pretty rough time this winter. And see, I live vicariously through Ray Gregory when he's down there riding in Florida. Thanks, honey. Is this with or without?
With.
It's with.
With.
You put.
With.
You put.
With.
You put.
Potters.
No, how about the Baileys?
Not today. Not this one.
Yeah,
This is
I had
true.
Baileys the
This is
first
true.
one. Okay.
That was a treat for this morning. to go with a nice breakfast.
That is so good. Thank you, honey. I think you got me pretty well taken care of there. You got the birds all fed and the animals been taken
I
out.
gotta take TT out.
And let me see. Oh, he hasn't went out yet.
No.
Hang on, watch it. Look at this over here, guys, boys and girls. If I can get the camera around there. There's Theo down there. He's down there right in front of the fireplace. Go walk over and call him and watch how responsive he is. Watch this.
What do you think? Like that.
He always looks over at me, make sure everything's good. He's gonna go pee pee. Y'all have never seen that calf right over there. See that one right over here. That one. Where is it at? Right over there. Up there. The very last one down there. Over there. Right there. Way down there. That one up there has got. It took me 30 years to get that one. That's what you get when you retire from aerospace. It's got the American Eagle, it's got the flag, it's got all that stuff on it. But it takes you a long time to get one of them. So it has its rightful place on the wall. Oh yeah, you've got a long winter ahead of you. I mean, remember down here, whatever happens to you guys up there, 4 or 5 days later, it pushes all the way down to here, unless it's really hot down there. Our heat from the Gulf can push the hot air and hold it at bay. And they have what they call a convergence zone up there around Tennessee. All that cold air just stops right there. And but it has to be really hot down on the Gulf for that to happen. And if everything goes the way it has in the past, the hot weather start rolling in here. March is just right around the corner, starting Saturday. And it's really scary here when we wake up in the morning in March and we see 89-degree weather in March. Somebody's going to get blown away that weekend because it'll go from 89 to a tornado in a heartbeat. We have tornadoes every month of the year here in Alabama. There's not a month that we haven't had people that lost their lives. And Huntsville, Alabama was tore up. A lot of people killed in Huntsville in December, not this year, but a few years back. In January, in Enterprise, Alabama, it killed all them kids in the school. A tornado come up, hit the school, and kill the kids in January. So there's not a safe month here. It can happen anytime. And we blame it all on them people up north that sends that cold air down here. That evil, evil cold air that comes riding in from the polar regions and hits our beautiful, warm, salt, just beautiful, warm southern air off the Gulf. I will continue to say and will forever until my time is up, the Gulf of Mexico. It was that way in the 1600s when the explorers, they named it, called it. And I ain't changed my ways because if the next guy shows up, he might want to change it to the Gulf of who knows, we start changing names all around. I mean, now I'm going to stick with what I learned when I went to school. I got mad when they took Pluto away. I ain't kidding you. 9 planets, and Pluto was the last one out there. And when they come up with the idea of changing and getting rid of Pluto, I was just ticked off. And I feel the same way about the Gulf of Mexico down there. I was born with the Gulf of Mexico, and I'm 85 years old, and I'm gonna go out. Well, I ain't 85 yet. It will be. I'm gonna go out with the Gulf of Mexico. I just, I don't like change. I ain't never liked change about nothing. I want to stay just the way I am, footloose and fancy free. 8, 3 or 4 meals a day. Well, I'm 230 pounds. I don't know how many kilograms that would be. Let me see. That'd be 100 and something kilograms. I don't know. But I'm 230 pounds, and my fat begs me to feed it. I mean, it literally talks to me. When you fix to make a bad decision, your conscience says, "Oh no, Mac, don't do that. Don't do that, Mac. Come on, don't do that." Well, my fat, on the other hand, is saying, "Eat me, feed me, give me some food. I need to eat. You don't feed me, I'll make you jiggle all over." Oh, here comes the little baby. Whoa, look at that baby. Yeah, that buddy. There's my buddy, American Outlaw.
Oh.
I was talking to American Outlaw.
Oh, I thought you said my name.
I dedicated a whole portion of my movie to you yesterday inside the Harley shop to the American Outlaw. You're up in them badlands of the Dakotas. Oh, your weather's changed. Oh, good. Well, I know. You could go over there to International Falls. You could, or Sturgis, or not Sturgis, but oh hell, Minot, and you would leave Minot, and it'd be really nice, felt good, temperature in the 30s. Go to International Falls, it'd be below zero. Or you could be over there and at Minot, and what to call the Chinooks, what they call the Chinook winds that come down out of Canada, and that would swirl warm air from the Gulf. When it did, it would bring warm air into Minot, and all of a sudden you're out there in 50-degree weather, and you got the muckalucks on and all that Arctic wear, and then you start stripping clothes off. Hey, Sterling Will. Well, we're Humping the Please. There used to be a trucking company. You may remember it, Sterling, in America, a trucking company called Camel Express. Camel Express, their slogan on the side of the truck says, "Humping to please." That's what we're doing here. We're humping to please. Yeah. let the train well, I let the train get its whistling done. That one is that one right there, the middle hat. It looks like it's old and dirty, but it's got the flag, look like the flag is tattered on it. It was made that way to look like it was a well-worn Harley hat. I believe that's the Coors beer one. It's got the eagle on it and the flag, and oh, I have thought about the cruise as well. Yeah, if I was on the West Coast, I think cruising would probably be in. I think I don't think it's a matter of money as much as having your feet on solid ground, well, on the deck of the ship. Um, I would like that. They have some really beautiful cruise ships, but the problem being is getting around. And once you got to the terminal over in Perth or wherever you ended up at, there'd be a lot of trudging around, going and getting you a rental car, um, or getting somebody to drive you around in Australia. And that's probably the better way of doing it because I don't know how to drive on the left-hand side of the road, and the steering wheel being over on the right-hand side, it would be, I think I could do it. I believe I can master that. I ought to get Connie to go with me to Australia and us go down there and maybe do a whole hit several ports in Australia and maybe stop off in Hawaii, maybe sail down to Fiji. Yeah, she knows we can have a good time on the ship. If we get mad at one another, she could go on one side of the ship and I could go on the other side of the ship till we made up. Take Joyce with us there. She'd Joyce would probably have a time of her life. I'm telling you. No, I would be scared to go to Hawaii with Joyce on the ship. She go, this thing seemed like it's kind of listing over a little bit. Is it sinking? No, it's not sinking, Joyce. Do you hear that motor sounding funny down there? You think he's got a problem with his engine? No, no, this has got big turbine engines on it. Ooh. Don't get a room with a view. My brother took a 14-day season cruise, and he got a his room was so he could have a porthole and look out the window. He was sick the whole entire 14 days. So now I've been on a couple of long cruises on the aircraft carrier Nimitz, and I was 7 decks down. I was way down there. I was below 30 feet below the water line. And so it's real easy, smooth sailing. You never looked outside. There's nothing you could see. I was in 3 bunks. There's 3 bunks are stacked on top of each other, and I was in the middle of the 3 bunks. And I really enjoyed my time. I never ever got seasick. I never got seasick on. Oh, come on, hark it up a little bit. Come on, get it up. You swore hair. Um, on the Nimitz, I never got sick. It took me like a day or two at sea to get my sea legs under me so I could walk on when you're on the Nimitz, when we're not launching aircraft, when the aircraft are not going out, the deck rolls like all ships do. It's 1,050 feet, 53 feet long, but it'll still roll. You don't get the porpoising as much on a big ship like that, but with the rolling, when you're walking, you have to pace your walking so that you on the rise and falls, you have to time your walking so you don't fall down. But it takes a little while to get your sea legs under you. And then after you get that done, I used to stand in the engine buildup room where they were working on the FA-18 engines and A6 intruder engines. And they fire the engines down there and they blow the exhaust out this side bay. And when they wasn't testing engines, I'd go over and stand and the water right be down there about 20 feet below my feet. And it was moving by pretty fast. That aircraft carrier Nimitz, when we were recovering aircraft, when aircraft was coming in, they have to go up to max speed into the wind, so they give the aircraft um, better chance of getting landed on the deck, or especially on takeoffs. They gotta fly off into the wind to get lift. Oh yeah, there's a beautiful. My son, my son was there. He spent 30 days in Australia, courtesy of the U.S. Navy. He got to his ship was named the ship of the fleet or whatever, the pride of the fleet. It was an honor, and he got to go and do all the ports of Australia. And he tried his best to make love with all the women in Australia at every port. And he said he found the Australian women like boomerang. If you got tired of her and you just pushed her out of your hut, she was like a boomerang. Within an hour, she'd come back, ready to go for another round. he, he called it having boomerang sex. He loved it. He loved them Aussies. He loved them women. They loved him too. He was a big old tall boy. He's 6'2", and he was a marathon runner, physically in good shape. Them women loved old Donald. They liked him. And they loved him in Longapo, I'll tell you. When he sailed into Subic Bay and he made his journey over to Longapo over there, yeah, they loved him in Longapo. It was, he said, when you put your feet on the ground in Longapo, it's like the e-ticket ride at an amusement park. Lots of fun. I have been sick from drinking in a boat because I drank too much that night, and we got on the boat, and we were only in a 16-foot boat, and we were in sometimes as much as 20-foot swells. We'd get to the bottom of the trough, and we'd use our motor and power our way up out of the trough, and the nose of the boat would stick straight up in the air and then would drop over the other side. It was pretty dangerous, but it made you sick. It made me sick, but I got over it. It didn't kill me. Here, little buddy. I know you're wanting to get over here on you're wanting to get on your little cushion, ain't you, little buddy? There we go. There you go, little buddy. Here we go. Get you a little cushion on here. There you go. Get you a little cushion. Try to get him to get on his little cushion. My brother, he went to he took a 14-day cruise. He went down to Argentina. No, no, let me see. No, no, no. He went to some of the coastal countries in South America. Um, cannot remember all the trip, but he ended up over at St. Thomas. Now, when he got to St. Thomas, that was the first time he went to shore at St. Thomas because he needed to stretch his legs more than just walking on the deck. And he began to feel really good once he got to St. Thomas because he knew he wasn't too far away when he got to St. Thomas. Next thing you know, they'd be pulling into Miami. The best trip I ever made to Mexico, I had a little Mexican woman. Me and her were buddies for a little over 2 years. And she took me, we went on a trip. She took me down into old Mexico. She had relatives down there. Now, she was an American. She was born in Texas, and her parents were from somewhere else, but Mexico. And she took me down there. We went to see her cousin. We went quite a ways down into Mexico. We went down the Baja Peninsula, and we didn't go to La Paz. We didn't go that far down, but oh, we had a good time. All the shops we went in, she could speak to everybody in there and get the very best deals. Uh, I'm gonna tell you the honest God truth. I've had several Camaros. I really like the Camaros. I still today like the Camaro. My buddy, when we all got up to a level where we could afford a good car, he bought a Corvette. And so he took me for a ride in his Corvette. It had the LT1 engine in it, back during that period of time. LT1 was it was a high performance engine, but it never was successful. I think it was a four valve engine. It was really a performance car, LT1. The performance was good, but the body rattled everywhere. Everything on it had a squeak to it. When we go railroad tracks, it didn't have that all together. Every Camaro that I've owned, and one time I had two Camaros in the same year. Um, the bodies were tight. They seemed to fit up real good. I'm saying Camaro. Camaro would be my answer. In my GT Mustang, I've raced a few of these with the Coyote. I've got a Coyote engine in it. It 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 run good, and I've raced quite a few Camaros with it. I have a person that called me out. She lives 70 miles from here. She lives 70 miles from here, and she called me out, but I had to meet her on her turf. And it my Mustang handled her Camaro, but she didn't have the hottest engine. It didn't have the blower on it or supercharger or nothing like it. It was a conventional V8 engine. I don't remember what the horsepower was. It was a LS engine in that thing. It was it run good, but it didn't run as good as my Mustang because my Mustang was built strong. That's the only way old Mac likes to run, man. He don't like no wheezing wimpy cars. My sister Connie, she likes high speed, high performance. She's all about high speed, high performance, and all that stuff. She's had some good cars. She used to she used to steal my hot rod. Sterling Will, my sister, her and my brother, when I'd go to work, they would go out there and take my hot rod out. I always had a street rod of some sort. They would run the wheels off the thing and then come back and wash it up. And clean it up and park it so I wouldn't even know that it ever been moved. I didn't know it for years, and she just told us on the air one time. We were doing one of my live events when I was on StreamYard, and she was on there. She told the whole world about them taking my car and going out there and doing doing stuff that wild and crazy kids do, burning rubber of my car. She knew that I had a car that would always burn rubber. I mean, if it doesn't catch good patch of rubber in third gear, you ain't got a motor in it. I, I wish you had made a short of that. I have a wheelchair here at the house too. When I broke my leg, they gave me a wheelchair. Oh, they didn't give it to me. I had to rent it. And then when the rent was up, I called him and I said, I want to bring the wheelchair back. She said, what do you mean bring the wheelchair back? I said, well, I've got it rented. She said, your rent is paid up. And I go, well, what am I supposed to do with it? She said, it's yours. I go, I've never heard of renting something and you keep it when the rent runs out. She said, that's an agreement we have with your insurance company. It belongs to you after the year is up. I had to rent it for a year. I rented it for a whole year. I did not ride in it for a year, but it was like new, and I still have it. Got it parked over there in the other room, all folded up. I'm getting to the point where may have to do it again. Yeah, her son's got Connie's son's got a nice Porsche right now, but he had a Porsche Cayenne. His wife did, and they gave me the Porsche Cayenne. It's a SUV Porsche. It had the V8 twin turbocharged aluminum engine in it, 500 horses. They bought it. It's called the Porsche S. It's a Porsche Cayenne S. Got the red S, and that mofo would run. And I took it for a long ride. I went up to Arlington, about a 150-mile round trip in that Porsche, and it has a little wing back there in the back that's folded in just above the back glass. And when you get up to speed, the little wing comes up, and it actually adjusts itself for downward pressure. It's pretty well. They really designed that thing good, so you're very stable at speed. And I didn't have no trouble making it run either. It ran good. Not as fast as my Mustang, of course. Yeah, I was showing Angelique how to do a wheelie on my hardwood floors. It's got good grip though. This has got one of those anti-slip surfaces on it. The material they treated it with some kind of the wood they treated it so you don't slip, and not much. But boy, the thing with them rubber tires on it, it could. I don't have a battery powered one. I have a hand powered wheelchair. Yeah, who would have thought Sterling would have been a bug guy? But Sterling's got a Corvette, a Volkswagen Beetle, a bug. Sterling is like a diamond in the rough, if you will. He's got many facets to Sterling. It covers a gauntlet of creativity, from his entertaining show at late night, not for the kiddies now. You gotta make sure the kiddies in the bed before you tune into his, because he don't cuss or swear until the first 15 minutes. He's very religious about that. Then he lets his hair down. It's usually around, I think around the second rum and coke, he comes alive. He's like in living color. Sterlingville is like, look at this shirt right here. So I get up here in position so you can see it. Tilt this down here. I'm that crazy uncle everybody warned you about. That's Sterling. Yeah, the other day I called him Dr. Demento. Oh, so, and they took it away, I guess. I don't know. Maybe a red lady might have took it off there because it might have been a conflict of advertising for another show. But when I was young, Dr. Demento was a way of life for Old Mac. He liked the zany comedy of uh, of Dr. Demento. Might have been against the rules. Maybe YouTube took it off. I don't know. I just noticed my comment went like this. That came and then it went. How about that? Oh, I'm sorry. We're talking about a subject that is pretty sensitive to Ben Tipton there because of his tragedy. But he's not against you driving your car fast or doing whatever. It just it brings back the horrors of his accident that left him the way he is today. And I can see where you would rather not think about that. Oh, it's not. Oh, I didn't want to. I didn't want to overbill it as being used overly sensitive, but what I'm saying, it like me with breaking my leg. I have moments where I have that flashback of hearing that bone break in my head. I could hear the bones break. I go, oh hell! But I soon got over it. I broke my jaw. I broke my jaw here. I had an accident on a four-wheeler, and I broke my skull right here, and I broke 7 ribs and my right leg, a host of things. And I had a flashback about that a few years after it, and I'd have a dream occasionally me going over the edge again. Oh, we had a cousin. Her daddy was anti-seatbelt. My cousin, when he had his children, he said, I'll whoop your ass if I ever catch you strapped up in a car because I don't want you to burn to death. And he preached that to them girls. So when they went riding with you, they wouldn't put their seatbelts on. Well, they left Birmingham and went to Chattanooga, Tennessee. And they were on I-59. And where I-59 merges in with I-24, it's in a curve. You merge in on a curve. They got bumped and rolled the little Ford Ranger pickup. Now, the guy and the girl up in the front driving My cousin was in the back, but she didn't believe in seatbelts or wasn't ever allowed to wear a seatbelt. She was thrown through the front windshield, and she lived like a vegetable for a number of years. Sad. Her mind was really hurt, and they lived a pitiful life. Not like you, Ben. Your mind is sharp as a tack, but it scrambled her mind up, and she died unnecessarily. Here's what the highway patrol said: neither one of the two in the front was hurt. They had both of them had the seatbelts on. The only one that didn't have a seatbelt on was my cousin sitting in the back seat, and she went out through the front windshield. And what a horrible way to go, to be alive for a number of years and not knowing what's going on around you. Oh, heck yeah. I'm with you, Toga. Um, no matter whatever condition you ended up in, we still have you. And that's important. You're still contributing to the world. You're contributing through your positive attitude. You're not sitting there whining about everything. Hey, that's a good. Thank you very much. I'm looking up on the board. We got 6 people in here, and I've got 4 like you. So there's 2 of them in there that don't like me. They just don't like me. I wonder which 2 it is. I suspect it might be. I ain't gonna name names. Actually, people have been told on Facebook that if you hit the like button while you're on YouTube, it actually signs you up on the Communist Party, and the word gets out, that you're a commie. Well, so that's the reason a lot of people are really reluctant to say I like it, when they push that button I like, because they don't like the idea of it going directly to Facebook and then been put on the list. That's not true. There's no truth to that. You push that button and you don't even feel it. They even say on Facebook, if you hit that button, it'll cause a slight electrical shock, and it changes your brain and makes you start thinking. You start thinking. You become a thinker, and the world don't need thinkers. You need people that react on a heartbeat. No thinking required. Those 2 that didn't vote, didn't put a like. Stick your hand up. Let me see who you are. Somebody's over hiding right over there. I suspect it might have been them. You don't even have to like me, but I love you, and I'm glad you're here. I think we are going to go for a ride here this afternoon. We got a couple of things. She gave me a list of things that we didn't get while we was at the store, while we was in town yesterday, when we rode over all the way over to Aniana. Uh-oh, one of them, buddy, uh-oh, no. Uh, I thought the numbers changed on the board up there. I was looking at it wrong. Well, we at least we know it wasn't Ben Tipton. I can tell you that, because he can't run. So it wasn't him. He's got a fast wheelchair. He could catch you of that wheelchair. He's got that turbocharged model. Uh, or Ray Gregory said he's going to come over and join me, but what happened there is he got out there. Here's what happened when you get our age. He said, I'll see you over there when I get some things caught up there, old Mac. Now he went out there and he said, oh, look at that garden hose. I need to roll the hose up before I leave. And he goes out there and rolls the hose up. And he'll say, now who the hell left that sprinkler over there? And then he walks over there and gets the sprinkler and puts it away. And because it ain't time to water the yard yet, then he looks over there and he goes, God almighty, let me get the weed eater. And he goes back and gets the weed eater around the trees. And he starts doing a little weed eating around the trees. And now he's spewing. He has to go over and sit in his chair. He's sweating pretty good. Whew. And he go, oh, hell, I was going to go get on the Old Mack. But no, I got to roll those electric cords up over there. I was in the shop and I left the extension cord out. I got to roll it up. Oh, hell, I didn't even put the lights away. Oh, man. Well, while I'm here, I might well check the air pressure and all the tires in the shop, the trike and my bikes. And well, while I'm checking tires and stuff, I might well go ahead and check the oil and raise the hood and get the oil checked and everything. And I got to sit down and rest again. He's over there and he go, I was going to go and get with old Mac, but there's a couple of things here in the shop I need to do because I don't want to go off down to Florida and leave my place like this. Yeah, God almighty, it's hot. I'm going to go in and get in under the fan. Whew, man. Let's see. I know from experience. I tell people I'm going to be there and I don't never make it because I get wandered off over here and then somebody will get me over here and drag me over there. And then the phone will ring and it'll be somebody from out yonder. And it just goes on and on. And that's the reason I do things like when we was on with Motorbomb this morning, I said, hey, I'll run over and start my page up. Because if I knew if I didn't do it right then, I'd forget to go and get on. I'd sit over there and turn the TV on and be watching World of Outlaw Racing or the race at Georgia last weekend, and probably go over and watch them build an engine. And there's just so many things that I find myself doing that just eats up the time. Now today we're going to have steak. I'm fixing steak and a macaroni salad and a green salad. I know it sounds odd having two salads, but see, the macaroni salad is pasta and a green salad for our body. Steak, green salad, and macaroni salad. Did you hear the menu, honey? Steak, green salad. So if you would like to go ahead and make your green.
We're doing spaghetti, remember?
What?
Remember, spaghetti day. We're doing steaks tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow's steak day. Oh, I forgot. Well,
And then
let me see. Everything's going good here. Oh, I got extra water over there. Okay.
And then Friday is something else.
Would you like to sit in the chair and talk to the crew while I?
No, I got something. I got some things I got to do.
Okay, I need to go pee. I wish I could let Theo run the station, but can hold it.
Hmm.
Yeah, we are steak eaters here. Really, we are probably.
You made the best steak.
Come over closer so they can hear you.
Oh.
Now, what I do about my steak?
Hold on, Lisa.
Okay.
Let's see. The best steak you made was a couple weeks ago, I think it was. And you put it in the Fry Daddy.
Oh, that's when I made it a breaded steak.
Yeah, that was the best one.
Yeah,
that was the best one from the Fry Daddy.
Yeah, I put them in the deep fryer, and I had that beautiful seasoning on them and all that spicy. Oh, damn! Oh, I made 4 or 5 of them, didn't I?
5.
Oh, they were good. just done, just right, and
It
the
was-
breading stayed together so good.
It was breading. You could taste the breading flavor.
Well, it had a lot of black pepper in it.
A lot of black pepper. But there was something else in there that was really you put in there. It wasn't the drummy chicken flavoring.
But honey, just sit right there. You can stay right there and don't get in old Mac's chair. And so, look or read the list over and read and say hello to each one of those while I go in there and do my thing. Okay.
Okay.
And don't get in old Mac's chair now.
Too bad. Taking over.
What the heck? She taking over?
Hey everyone, me. But the steak he did was so flavorful and so juicy inside that you would taste everything. Huh? I am looking at the camera. Don't get your panties in a wad. Yeah, Toga! My dude! Mr. Max Women, that is right. I take care of the man, the myth, and the legend because he's my person. I take care of him and he takes care of me. I'm good American. How are you? Hey, Ben.
Say hello to Connie.
Who?
Connie?
Hi, Connie. How are you? I'm just taking over for the old man. Hey, 2-4. What's up? Sorry I'm sounding a little sniffled up. I got sinus problems. But I'm doing better.
What are you doing sitting in my chair?
I am the new Mac.
Come on, I want to.
I'm the new mac and cheese.
Haul that. Oh Lord, have mercy.
Everyone likes me better than you anyway.
Ah. Well, at least you got my seat warm for me. Here, give me a little fist bump. You did a good job. Thank you. Even a monkey could have done that, but we didn't have a monkey, so.
Well, we got the monkey butler.
Had the gas monkey. Last time we was riding, she filled my tank up. I called her the gas monkey. Thank you, sweetie.
Okay.
Now
You still have a little piece of biscuit left.
I know. Go do something creative.
I can't. I don't have any resin. I'm gonna have to buy some.
I know. Oh my God.
You see what I make. I make pretty things.
Okay.
And sparkly things.
Come on, go make sparkly things there.
You can't. I don't have any resin.
We've had enough of you. Go on, get. Golly, let the women take over. All right. Thanks, guys. I needed a bathroom break, and that was the only way to do it.
Just for that, I'm going to show everyone what I make.
What do you make? Let's see what you got. What are they?
Marks.
Oh, bookmarks. She's been making a batch of bookmarks. I don't know if you can see them over there. Bookmarkers. Yeah, I showed the other day what you made. This is she made a shot glass. You need to take the shot glass back to the kitchen.
Yeah.
She makes these shot glasses, and they go good with the Baileys or tequila. We had a lot of good tequila shots out of these glasses that she makes. You can see the little sparklies in it. She's all about sparkly stuff. She'll come in here sometimes, she'll give me a big old hug and a kiss, and I'll have sparkles all over me.
I leave magic wherever I go.
Well, take your little sparkling ass and get on out of here.
Okay. Bye.
I'm trying to run a show here.
Hey, we're gonna have to rename it the Sparkle Show now.
Thanks, honey. That was good. That was show and tell.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Oh, I know. Girls like shiny things.
I like glittering things better.
All righty. Thanks, honey.
Bye.
Oh yeah, Kenny had a monkey, and that monkey loved me. She would she'd sit here on my shoulder, kind of the monkey would, and take that little finger and run it way down inside my ear. And then she would take and go in my beard. She'd start separating and going all up in here like this, and she would go around my ears and pick all the little hairs around my ears. And I don't know what she'd find up there, like cracker crumbs or whatever, crusting off a Kentucky Fried Chicken or something. Whatever she found in my beard, she'd eat. Thank you, American Outlaw. uh, that's the first time she got to sit in the chair and say hello to everybody. Y'all see her floating by here occasionally. Yeah, we're going to go for a ride after a while. I'll probably do a little video. We got to run over to the store and pick up some things that we forgot yesterday. Yeah, I'm the leader of the pack. She gets when we go riding, we go over and there'll be a bunch of bikers, and she gets along with every one of them so good. She's not very timid, and she she fits in real good with the biking group. Oh, that's something, Toga. Yeah, that's right. You get used to having animals, and well, when we was kids, squirrels. Oh, let's put it this way: we were gone 40 years out to the west, and when we moved my mother back here to Alabama, she called me on the phone and she said, I have never seen so many squirrels in my life. She said, I'm feeding so much. She was buying peanuts and feeding the squirrels. They had buckets of peanuts everywhere. And she said, oh my God, we got so many squirrels here. She said, wonder what happened when we was young. We never could, you could walk all day long and not see a squirrel. And I said, Mom, remember this. When we were young and when you was young especially, if we saw a squirrel, we shot it and we ate it. We skinned it out and we ate it. My mother would make squirrel gravy. She would fry it and then make gravy in the skillet, and we'd have squirrel gravy on biscuits. And so I said the reason you didn't see them when we came up very often is we killed everyone we saw. And now they've made a comeback and they're everywhere. I'm talking about squirrels are everywhere. I love them. I like squirrels today. But however, as a homeowner, you got to have all your safeguards up for the squirrels because they will get in your attic and they'll tear stuff up. We don't have the rabies. Our squirrel population never is not bothered as much as the raccoon population. Um, the raccoon population. I went to the State Department of Alabama, and they have a pellet that they place out in the known raccoon feeding areas, and the raccoons eat the pellets, and it stops the spread of rabies. It puts stuff around their gums, and so it helps prevent rabies. So I said, please, if I could I feed up to 30 raccoons, and he said, oh, we don't encourage that. I go, but my neighbors trap raccoons, and I like to give them a safe harbor here so they can have a place feel safe and be born. You know, little babies can be born and not have to worry about somebody's dog killing them or something like that. And no, they would not allow me to have any of the pellets. I said, well, if you're interested in preventing rabies, wouldn't it be fine that I know I've got 30 eats here every night that they could eat this food, they could eat it and go out amongst the other raccoons and help prevent them from getting rabies. Nah, it don't work that way. We ain't gonna give you that. Honey, everything tastes like chicken. One time I had this duck, and I loved this duck. When we in our backyard, we had a coal mines. This mines went miles and miles underground. It went. You could get into our coal mines, walk in our coal mines, and end up in Brookside, or end up in Cardiff, or you could come out in a place called Alden. Those are different towns. You could go into my mines and come out in other towns. And I had a duck. And coal mines in Alabama are all wet mines. And we had, for the ducks, we had a holding pond where the water would come out of the mines and the ducks would swim in it. This is alum water. It's not fit to drink, but the ducks love it. And ducks would swim out there. Well, I had my own duck. My duck followed me everywhere I went. Me and that duck we were, it was a Disneyland moment for sure. You know, that duck was following me everywhere and I'd go get it food and they'd eat out of my hand. And so one time we come in and Mama was cooked a great big dinner and we had guests coming over. Oh my God, we had it was other cousins that lived over on the other side of the river. They came over and we had a big dinner and I couldn't find my duck that evening. Then I asked my daddy about my duck, and my daddy said he ain't seen the duck in a couple of days. And so he told me, he said, sometimes they'll go into the coal mines and swim way back up in there and then come out in another town. He said it's probably in another town by now. So sound like a good story to me. One day we was playing out by the burn barrel and somebody kicked the burn barrel over. When it tumbled over, out come duck feathers. Oh, tasted like chicken to me. We were convinced we was eating chicken. Old Mac done eat his pet duck. That sounds criminal, don't it? Eat your pet duck. Now, do you call the stray cats there in your part of Turkey? Do you call them feral cats? That's what they refer to here? It's old cats that's lived out on their own. They're feral. They don't make good pets, and they're really just like a wild creature. They'll bite you and everything, and scratch you. Oh, I imagine so. I've never had dog. I have had cat though. I have eaten cougar. They killed a big cougar down there when we was on the elk hunt, and somebody killed a big cougar, and this German lady that was with us in our camp out, she took the backstrap, the tenderloin, and she made little butterfly steaks. And oh my gosh, she fixed it with some good seasoning. And yeah, we eat that tenderloin. Cougar. Cougar is about a 140-pound cougar. It's a lot of big meat on it. I don't. I've always assumed the word feral would mean just wildcat. Um, oh, I guess they're all been fed. And we have feral cats here, and they come up on the place. It don't take me long. I can tame them because they're really hungry when they come in. they approach you. I've had to put one down. I had a feral cat came in and it would attack my cats, and we was afraid of the rabies, so we had to put it down. I got you. There's just like we have neighborhood dogs here, that you see them most of the time. They chase my Harley when I go up and down through there, and those two, there's an attorney lives down the hill. He lives in a house down the hill. He's an attorney, and he's got two big old dogs. And them things try to bite me every time. And they used to try to bite me on my two wheelers, but on the tracks they have to stay far enough from that rear wheel. That brain of theirs sees that big old fender over there, and they know that fender. See, my other track had big old steel fenders on it, and I bumped one of them dogs and put him over in the ditch. And he rolled over in the ditch and got up on all fours and still just hollering and screaming. He never learned the lesson. I mean, it hit him right in the shoulder and just rolled him. I didn't run over him. I just knocked him off the road. And it didn't do anything to my fender, but I hated hit the animal, and it got killed. I didn't kill it. Somebody killed it, run over it. And so then he went out and replaced it with another dog. Now he's got two dogs that chases me. I like to kind of slowly come by there in the second gear and wait for them to come running out of the fence. They come out, charge right up to me, and I give her the old twist of the throttle, and she'll whoa. And they scared of that exhaust. That exhaust is loud, and it puts out a pretty good puff. It's a real genuine dual exhaust on it, and it just puts out these big pulses of power. And it's them dogs are scared of that. It's a pack mentality, Toga. They truly, it is a pack mentality, and they they will bunch up. And I've seen actually dogs attack other dogs, and then when one dog bites into the dog, all of them comes over and starts biting that dog. He's kind of like establishing himself as the alpha of the pack. And when he bites into a dog, all the rest of them starts biting that poor dog, and he ain't done nothing to any of them dogs. But it's a dog eat dog world. We know that. Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. They're just blowhards until they get a support group. Let me tell you a little story. If you guys want to hear a little story, at one time I was a foreman over this trucking company. We had 24 trucks. The company had 24 trucks under lease. The company didn't own 24. He only owned 3 trucks, but he had 20. We had 21 lease trucks and 3 of our own company trucks. And so this guy, a Mexican truck driver, he had his wife. She was driving a truck, so that was 2 of them. And he had 2 or 3 of his cousins driving another truck. But he had 5 of the trucks leased. This Mexican guy did. Out of the 24 trucks, he had 5 of them leased. And he was a go-getter. But unfortunately, we have a set of rules. When you're working out of the field, you're like hauling beets or potatoes, you have a rotational system. The next truck up, we have 24 trucks, and they're lined up in the 24 truck formation. and the first one to go into the digger is the first one in the line. But what he would do, he would come up early in the morning. Now let's say that you haul load number 20, the last load of the day. You're going to be the last one to load up in the morning. That's the way it worked. Well, he would cut up ahead of him, and some of them other Mexican guys, they wouldn't say much and everything. But then one of the truck drivers came over to me and he said, "Why is he in the front?" And I got up my sheet and I said, "Oh no, he took the last load." See, I don't have no way of knowing who loaded what. Uh, I don't read the board and nothing like that. But I've got on my clipboard, I've got a sheet of the firing order, how they're lined up. So I went over and told him, I said, "Move your truck to the back of the pack." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because first I'm telling you to do so because you're out of the firing order." And so he moved his truck to the back. Well, a couple of the drivers that was lined up, um, they they couldn't get their rig. I guess they had air brake problems. They was working on the air brakes or whatever while they was lined up, and so he was allowed to go around them then because legally, if you can't make the lineup, you have to go to the back of the pack. Well, that was a legal move, but then he brought his four other trucks, and that was a no-no because they was way back in the firing line, and he wanted all of his trucks to stay in a row. I go, "No, it don't work that way. You are the next one to be in line." And so I told him, get, for him to either get out of line and let the next person get in line, or for him to go back there with his crew, his other four trucks. Well, he muttered some words and he was really upset. And so we were sitting there, and my brother was driving for the same company, and my stepdad, he was driving for the same company. And we're all sitting in my truck, and they was way back in the line, they didn't have to worry about moving up right now. And so we were sitting there talking. I told him about the little confrontation I had with this guy, and he said, "Yeah, he's a bit of a hothead." My stepdad said, "Yeah, he's a real hothead." He said, "I've had a couple of issues." He wanted to be like bossy to my stepdad, even though I'm the foreman. My stepdad is just another worker, just another driver. And anyhow, uh, we saw him coming over. Here he comes over. I said, "This is going to be trouble." So I get down out of the truck, and I could see he was angry. And as he approached me, what he was going to do was he was going to kick me in the nuts, and then he was going to cut me. The reason we know this, we know all this stuff later. We find out how this all came about being. After I put him back into the back of the pack, um, and means he's going to be sitting there after 10 o'clock in the morning to get a load. He was really highly pissed. And he didn't have, he went and asked a couple of people about borrowing a knife. He wanted to cut me up because what I did to him. So he went to kick me in the nuts, but he missed my nuts by just a little bit because my legs was turned in such a way. I wasn't standing there spraddle-legged. I was kind of turned a little bit to the side, and he caught me right high up on the hip, on the inside of my hip there. But it didn't get my nuts. But when he did this, my left was right here, and it came in, and I caught him in the jaw, and it knocked his head that away, and then the right hit him in the other jaw, and he fell back in the arms of my brother. My brother had just come around the front of the truck, and his head hit right on my brother's chest, and my brother got him by the hair of the head and throwed him back at me. Well, then I caught him a real good one, and this time it spun his body, and he went down in between he went face first down between the dual axles. The truck had tandem axles, and his head went down there in the dirt. And I put my foot on his shoulder blades, and I leaned down and told him that he was fired. And for him to get all of his trucks off the line, move them off the line. And I asked him to shake his head if he understood what I was telling him. And he nodded his head. And we got him up out of there and sent him on back over to his truck. And he got his trucks and he got the hell out of there. Well, when I got down to Pasco, Washington at the terminal where we was unloading the receiving station, I get a call at the company and they said, you got a call inside here. So I go in there and it was my boss, the guy that owned the company. He said, I was just told that you beat up one of the drivers and you fired the driver. And I told him what happened. And he said, he is a real hothead. He said, but I can't afford to lose 5 trucks. He said, I got contracts. And I said, I can't have him out there messing up with the other drivers either. They look to me for me to make sure I keep them lined up the way they're supposed to be. And that's my job. And he said, yeah, I understand. I put you in that position to do that. But he said, you got to understand, I've got to have these 5 trucks. How can we make this right? And he said, what if I do this? What if I have him, I'll draw all the truckers together. I'll come out there, bring all the truckers in, and he will apologize to you in front of all the truckers. And he will announce to them that I am the foreman and, this kind of stuff. He said, because I really need these drivers. I said, I can handle that. And he did that. The guy that I was working for was a Japanese guy, Sas Nakamura. So Sas called the crew up, all the drivers, and he said, man, we got to have this trucking foreman. He's got to do his job. And he did his job yesterday, and he took the right course of action. He fired this fellow here and his other family members. But he said, we've had a meeting of minds, and I think the gentleman has something he wants to address all you drivers. And he spoke in Spanish. Went on and they was all doing because they was all angry at him too now. They was glad to see his ass off the line. And so they, hey, Ben Tipton, go do the best you can at the doctor's office. Have a great day, buddy. Be safe. Love you, man. So all the Mexicans, they was happy to see that it all resolved good. So we all had to wear hard hats. In Washington, they have a big safety thing. And when you drive a truck, you have to have a vest and a hard hat. Because when you go to these mills, stuff could fall from up above and hit you in the head and could be hurt. So they on my hard hat up at the office over there, they took and I was married to an Indian woman at the time. And they made you know what dyno tape is? It's a little machine. It's got a half-inch strip of dyno tape that's double backed. And while it's got its backing on it, you can write anything you want. And they wrote on there, Mexican fighter, Indian lover, all around good guy. That was it had my name. It had my name and then said, Mexican fighter, Indian lover, and all around good guy. I wore that till I wore the helmet out. Man, we hauled a lot of produce, taters and sugar beets. Lumber. Oh, we haul so much lumber. We used to go to Boise, Idaho, and we'd get these dressed 1x4s, 20-foot dressed 1x4s. We'd have two bundles of 20-foot 1x4s. And you talking about a hard load to haul. And 1x4s did not want to stay in place. They were slipping and sliding, and no matter how much you cinched them down. You'd come from the Kim up there over 6,000 feet up and coming down off the mountain down into not that's Lewiston, Idaho, not Boise. Lewiston, Idaho is where we was going to the Kim. And then you cross the river, the Snake River right there. Well, when you're young, hot-blooded too. These were all young drivers, and um, we seen each other many a time afterwards. It was a deal. He was really happy to get his trucks back into the lineup because these farms were out there where he lived, and it made it easy. He'd park his all those trucks would park right there at his place, and these were all 10-wheeler trucks with what they call center beds. Center, Sinner, made in Sunnyside, Washington. These beds were V-shaped, and they have a conveyor belt down at the bottom. So when you pull up, and it's got a chute in the back, and you engage the belt from inside your truck and run the load into the onto a conveyor belt, and it goes into the mill, and they process either potatoes or beets or whatever you're hauling. And they were you could haul a pretty good load with them. I think we were rated at 48,000 pounds. That's what we had what they call agricultural tonnage on a 10-wheeler. 10-wheeler would put 48,000 gross weight, 48,000 pounds. I went across the scales at 62,000 pounds on a 10-wheeler. We was in Dayton, Washington. We loaded up in the field, and it was so many rocks, and the rocks are a lot heavier than a potato. And so we had so many rocks on the truck that when our suspension was down, all the way down, we knew it was heavy. And the scale house is closed, so we went past the scale house and went in, and they had to scale us in into the factory, a company called Chef Ready's in Othello, not in Othello, but in Connell, Washington. And they had to weigh us in, and I came across the scales at 62,000. This truck I was driving had a 318 Detroit in it and had a 10-speed. Awesome. It could carry a load. It had a really good gear ratio. Well, I've been on it now for 2 hours. I can probably cut you guys loose. Shoot, we're gonna do. She already told me what we're gonna have for lunch. I wasn't scared of nothing when no, we didn't have no fear factor. Another human was another human. He was just another human. We didn't see we didn't see anything in them that would scare us. We were pretty tough in our young years. We had to be. You can ask my sister. Hell yeah, we'd knock them out. She's a fighter too. Hell, she's probably knocked out more men than most men have. I ain't kidding you. My sister's a damn knockout. She can fight. This whole damn gang of mine, my whole family is just like a bunch of damn savages. We were. We're good people now, but we didn't tolerate a lot in our youth. That's just the way we was raised. We were coal mining kids. That death was always on us, and we didn't fear it. We had so many people to die in our community. It was death was not a thing that we had no fear for. See, these other people had fear. You could actually look them in the eyes and see fear. That kind of unnerves a guy when you look them in the eye. You know, you got these shifty-eyed guys when they're talking to you, talking that mean shit, you know, and doing that. Yeah. You tell me that, look me in the eyes. That's the way we were. That's the way it was in those days. That's the way men were. When you come from that kind of a family where you're either a warrior with the military or you're a coal miner, which is war within itself. Just living in the community was war. You had to be tough. We had we had a lot of Irish and Scottish people and Welsh people live in my community. The coal mining community is made up of Eastern European people. Tough, hard. They fought all their life. Their countries that they come from had been in war 700 years, so that's all they ever knew was war. And they come to America and to become a coal miner, and that's all they knew was war. And it was just the way it was in those days. I ain't faulting it. I mean, I had no choice in it. I was born in it. You know, I make no apologize. I don't apologize for our people's behavior because that's all they knew. They didn't have the kind and gentle raising like a Saturday evening post moment, you know. Uh, no, they just all they ever knew was work and protect what they worked for. They didn't let people take things from them. Okay, let me go ahead and end it so I can go in there and start planning up the dinner, well, the lunch. And Toga, all you guys, everybody that stuck with me, my sister Connie, God bless you. And thank you for letting me spend a little time with you and tell you about how it was. And what you're seeing today is what it be, because we live the real life. So long, Sick. Thank you, buddy, for being here. And all you fine folks that showed up today for a chat. Well, I did, y'all, I did most of the talking. You guys had to do all the work, the texting. Find somebody to love today. Find someone that you can say, I love you. Be nice to somebody today. And just love life, man. If you love life, you're going to be nice to everybody. Don't be a hater. God bless you.